Hello everyone, my name is Abhi and welcome back to my channel. In case you were lucky enough to miss it, you won't know that the ICSE and ISC 2021 results came out on the 24th of July, Saturday, and they were a mess. Let's talk about it. After months of anticipation and keeping us in the darkness, the council finally decided it was time to get the results out for the exams we didn't even give. Prior to this, we had been sent a circular explaining the marking what factors they were taking into consideration, and just a general overview of what we could expect. When I woke up, the weather really wasn't welcoming. It was gloomy and murky and signaling nothing good could come out of it. The results were going to come out at 3 pm, and right before it, I had totally forgotten about them. I was watching Pother Pachali, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, great film. At about 3:05, my mom told me, Akbar Dak. So I opened the CISE website and clicked on Results 2021. It was asking me to put in the unique ID, CAPTCHA, index and serial number. I realized I don't know what the serial number and index number is, so I texted my friends as one does. They told me the index number and my serial number. There was this list with the entire unique IDs and serial numbers of all the students in my school year. Clearly, privacy had left the chat. So I put in all the required info and was waiting to click enter. At this point, even my brother had joined my mom and I, and after saying a quick silent prayer, I clicked it. Immediately my eyes went to the bottom of the screen and my heart exulted. And then as my eyes scrolled up to the English marks, I was like, ये क्या हो गया? Oh! A 50 out of 100 in English literature. The funny thing is, if I had gotten a 50 in any other subject, it wouldn't have mattered so much. English is a compulsory subject that feeds into the best of 5 aggregate. The English marks brought down my aggregate drastically. By this time, my phone was exploding with questions such as, how was it? What did you get? And I was so ashamed that I couldn't face them. All my other marks were fine, more than fine, and still I couldn't say this to anybody. It was like all the pieces of the puzzle were put in place except for one, and that made the whole thing fall apart. I called some of my tuition teachers to let them know how I did and told them what had happened. It was only after talking with them did I realize it was a mistake. After which I called my last year's class teacher who told me to get in touch with the school. I hunted down my school diary from 2019 and my mother dialed the phone number anxiously. From the other side answered this cold, clinical, corporate voice which told us to come and visit the principal and talk to him on Monday. In preparation for it, I wrote a letter and also took out photocopies of my class 9 and 10 results as reference. Fast forward to Monday, I missed my online classes and my mom, brother and I went to school. My brother was stopped at the gates and only my mom and I were allowed to enter. After signing the entry log and taking the permit slip, we were on our way. A bearer asked us whether we had come for the ICSE results and he escorted us to the AV room where the headmaster would speak to us. Now, I had been to the AV room several times before this and never had I noticed how much it looked like a courtroom. The room was divided into two sides. On one side, we were told to sit socially distanced, and on the other, the headmaster and an assistant teacher were seated who would listen to our cases. We were third in line to speak to him. One of the parents was saying, please sir, he has gotten a 98 in history, make that 100, otherwise his average will not stay on track. And we were like, huh? It was like I was put in a sauna. But you see, the room was totally air conditioned. By the time our turn came, my mom had gone totally pale and lost the gift of speech, which meant I had to do the talking. Now, I don't have a problem speaking to people, but it's the headmaster we're talking of. I walked up to him and handed the letter. Immediately, his stern expression changed and this authoritative yet friendly voice said, Oh, so even you have gotten a 50 in literature. This time it seems to be a very favorite number of the council. You won't believe me, I was relieved. I noticed the school had made a separate file titled Dispute with the ICSE marks, and it was crammed. This made me realize I wasn't alone in this. His concluding words to me were, "Don't worry." After making some awkward gestures with my hands in sign of gratitude, we left. It was that easy. They have taken up all the disputes, and now what we can do is live our lives and wait for the verdict to be announced. At the time of filming this video, nothing has yet been announced, but I will give you an update once I get to know anything. But I will say this one thing. This entire experience has been an eye-opener for me and pretty much set my priorities straight on the subject of marks. I know that marks are very important, but at the end of the day, they are a volatile quantity. Earlier, I used to find myself getting caught up in it so much so that I forgot the actual purpose of my education. I have also come to understand that a lot of luck factors into situations such as these. I mean, we didn't even give the exams and marks were slapped across our faces. A lot of students got a lot more marks than they deserve. The beneficiaries of the pandemic, if you will. My heart goes out to all those who had worked hard and were disappointed, downright sad when the exams were called off. Only we know and can be the judge of our hard works. In this context, I feel this last thing needs to be addressed. This has happened to me more than once, and on those occasions, I found myself tactless and unable to make a comeback. But I will not let that happen to you. If anyone, be it your neighbor or a family member, walks up to you and says or even tries to remotely insinuate how lucky you are that you didn't have to give the exam and completely dismisses your hard work, show them this video and let me say this to them. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit the thumbs up button if you got botched. Yes, I'm calling it that. Please share this video as much as you can so that if this has happened to someone you know, they don't need to be worried. We're in this together. Let me know in the comments how your results were, and if this happened to you, how is your school dealing with it? Lastly, please subscribe if you haven't already and join the brotherhood. While you're at it, click the bell icon so you get notified when I post my next video.